Hello and welcome back to GGRecon's coverage of Blast, and I'm here with Aleksib. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing fine.
Good, good. And to kind of start off with, I've got a bit of a fun fact here. It's been 252 days since you last faced off against an NA team, and which in fact was EG back at Blast. Cirque mentioned around the fact that they've been playing the same teams, over and over again in NA. Do you think that will play in your hands come tomorrow?
I think it can, but at the same time, there's the effect of confidence because I see them farming a lot of NA teams. And when you watch our previous games, like I think we played against top teams all the time. So it's not like free win games for us, but I'm not obviously saying that all of the NA teams are free. I'm just saying that there might be a couple that are in some tournaments that just isn't at the same level as EG is. And that obviously brings up your confidence if you're just smashing everyone on official. But at the same time, what can happen is the fact that they just traveled and suddenly they face tougher opponents, or they see that some of the stuff that might have been working previously just isn't working now. Could be wrong though, but I'm just saying that it could go both ways. But I think for us, we're ready for everyone, to be honest, because we're playing against really good teams from day to day. So really doesn't matter to us.
And another really good team that you've been faced off against recently was NiP. Obviously, you guys, unfortunately, lost to them recently at DreamHack. How do you think the match would replay should you face again? Will we see a nuke ban come out?
I would say that NiP is the toughest opponent for us in the group, only because I feel like Nok just came back in the starting lineup. And I think the players have this kind of motivation boost for the fact that Nok just came back. And overall, they play really aggro on the CT side, and they caught us by surprise on the previous best of three. But maybe in the next game, we'll be more prepared and more ready for all of their stuff. So I think the next series will be much more competitive, at least from our side, because we lost straight up 2-0 against them last time. But I won't. I cannot say against EG, against Navi. I know both of those teams are really good as well, but I'm still gonna pick NiP as the toughest for us.
Makes sense. And obviously, you guys have had a pretty hectic schedule as of late, and especially coming up as well. Do you think that that will have any kind of impact on the team at all, positive or negative?
I think this hectic schedule will not have a positive. Um, well, there's always two sides of the coin, right? Like if we play really well, it's obviously gonna be positive. But at the same time, let's see, we are playing Medicore or not at the level we want to play in, and the next tournament is just around the corner. It's really hard for us to fix all of our mistakes or even half of it, right? For example, now we have 1 day off, not day off, today's practice day, but it's only 1 day, and we go to the next tournament. So obviously we cannot go through everything that happened on the previous one. So I mean, when we have the time to go through stuff that needs to be fixed, that needs some time to be fixed, maybe position changes or I don't know what, but we're obviously gonna do it. But at times it's gonna be really difficult, and we just have to work with what we have and try to build up the whole team confidence and gotta grind those wins, right? Like against really good opponents. But it's hard at times, but let's say we manage to do well. Like obviously, it's gonna affect the group in a positive way. So it's always two sides to it.
And you mentioned confidence there, and I'm sure a big confidence booster at the minute would be you guys reaching your peak rankings of eighth in the HLTV rankings. Would you say that's where you see yourselves at the moment, or do you think you can kind of make that push for top five?
Yeah, I mean, getting into the top 10 feels good. Obviously, I would say we are around the top 10 mark until we find a bit more. Like obviously, people talk about consistency and everything, but sometimes it's way too sloppy compared to a day where we are just smashing everyone. So it's like obviously that comes down to consistency. But at the same time, I feel like something else might be off at times. So I don't know. It's hard to say because you are playing in the team. Like I could talk about another team way, I think, more better, but obviously we need to find the consistency and we need to find those small details to fine tune, like to have those good days way more often, or like even like decent days and nail our own stuff and remembering what we've talked about, remembering all the setups, all the strats. It's really hard at times, but if we manage to maybe fine tune it a little bit even, it'll be much better. And then I could maybe see us breaking into the upper ranks even.
Makes sense. And recently as well, even in losses as of late, Mantuu has really been shining. You know, what does it feel like for an IGL as you see a player like him come into his own?
Feel really confident about Mantuu. I know at times he might be lacking experience, especially because he didn't play the AWP role before us. So all the angles, all the reactions, he's still learning, obviously. But what I like about him so much is the fact that there is like people don't know it, but there is a really tiny player base or players I've played with that take feedback really well, and not only taking feedback, but you can actually see, like I might tell him something on practice or after a practice day or before an official, and then you watch the pod or then you play the game and you can just see him doing exactly what we spoke about or exactly what he told me he was about to do or whatever it is, or a reaction. So it's like it's two different players. So like some players might take the feedback, but it's gonna take them a while to even like execute it. But for Mantuu, I feel like he can take feedback and execute it the same day or the day after, or when he does a mistake, he's not going to do it again. Like those kind of things, not all the players can do, and I'm going to give props to that for Mantuu because he's kind of inexperienced, but at the same time, he's learning so fast, and he's bringing up really good numbers, winning crazy clutches. So to me, it's like one of those perfect players to have in a team because you never lose trust to this guy, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And back in Feb, we actually spoke to Nathan, who gave a bit of an insight on the communication within the team. And he mentioned back then around in-game specifics and talking about how that could be improved. Would you say that that has kind of been perfected over the online period?
Uh, it's difficult for us, obviously, because of not seeing each other in a while. Obviously, I think what this season has provided us is the fact that we're playing a lot, like really like insane amounts compared to the season we had where we are traveling to LAN. Because those, like, we have travel days, we have media days, we have time to spend together, we have off days after we come like from a tournament. So it's like you have those kind of like times where you can breathe. But as of right now, it just feels like, okay, we lost in this tournament. Next tournament is coming in 4, 5, 6 days. We cannot have time off because obviously we will be rusty and we will not be better on the next tournament. So it's like consistent playing, and that has helped us in a way that when we play all the time, it's obviously easier to speak about mistakes, speak about communication, all of these things, and to like fix it and getting comfortable with each other. But I think at the same time, our mental health and like mental focus is at an all-time high in terms of stress level. So I can feel at times where people just want to maybe like have a night out with their loved ones or with their family or whatever, and sometimes you really need that in order to have the same focus going like day after day. So it's a tough schedule, and it's tough to answer your question perfectly, but for us, I think this period has helped us in a way.
Do you think that the prospect of LAN and seeing a lot of these teams on LAN, do you think that we'll see a change in those top teams that have performed really well, or do you think that going back to LAN will switch up a lot of those, like I say, those top teams that we've seen?
I mean, I've spoke about this with the team and with other players as well, like my friends. But to me, I feel like yes, we will see some changes. We will obviously see, like, I think the veteran teams will always prefer to play LAN, and I think they have what it takes to be really calm and win those tight situations. But at the same time, I feel like, for example, you can pick a team like Big or Heroic. Both of those teams made a really huge leap in the rankings and cementing themselves on this like this past season, and people are waiting to see them play on LAN, obviously, because they want to see, like, can they do the same things. But for me, I feel like because we have been playing online for so long already, that I feel like these teams, when they played so much, like, it's not only one tournament that played online, right? So it's been like 10 tournaments already played online. So it's like, I think they have built enough confidence and enough, like, fundamentals in their game that they could easily do the same things on LAN. At least I feel like so. But then again, like, I don't know each individual. Like, maybe some of the players can feel certain amount of stress to play really badly on LAN for some reason. But I always give the benefit of the doubt for the teams. Like, I feel like some teams could really pull it off on LAN as well and be like a really good title contender.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can see that again very, very soon. That's all that we have time for. Thank you, Alexi, and best of luck tomorrow against OGs.
Thank you.